Yep.
6:30, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I saw my clock change. Um, okay, so hi everybody. Happy February. We're starting off with the approval of the January minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, do we have any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. Say
Aye.
aye. Raise your hand, something. Okay, minutes are approved. Reports. Joe, you want to go with
Yep.
budget?
Available budget is $21,415.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, and as for me, just what's been going on in the last month, still involved with the Turtle Lot Pathways kids lining up professional speakers for them to go in for half hour at a time. We also have one student who would like to mentor with somebody who works with their hands. So that's going well, except the very first one that we had scheduled was school was canceled because of the storm. Also still attending Northeast Commercial Realtors along with Tira. There is at the last TBA meeting, someone did approach me and ask about street signs. That's some we'd have to look into, right, Joe? I'm sure the prices have
Yes.
changed.
It's been a couple of years. I'm sure the price has changed, and I can't remember the last time I ordered one.
No, it's quite all. And you know what they did the last couple of times is they used the street sign size instead of the business directional sign size.
Oh.
So they cost a little more, I expect, and they're bigger if you notice. I mean, it was too late to do anything about it after it happened. Figured I'd bring it up
Who was
next
asking?
time.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm just curious.
Huh?
Who was asking about that,
Oh,
Brian?
Jonathan Tremblay from Polaris Mortgage,
Oh, okay.
who happens to be on the town hall sign. So
Right.
yeah, that's about it. Still staying busy. So we can move on to update on businesses. You see that on the agenda I had 2025-1 was B Clef Music, formerly B Tech Services. And number 2 is Gary's Smoke. That's over in Quinnebog. One thing with these new forms, we started using the new form with mine. I was the first one to register for the year, and there's no place to tell you what the business is. So Jay's Smoke, I assume it's a smoke shop, but it could easily be smoked meats or something as an example. Newer is not always better. The clerks were. Oh,
That's a good observation. Two things about that quickly. We noted that we had to modify some forms on the inland wetlands, and
Yeah.
we've just gone through all of that. But now we found a few things that we have to tweak up. That smoke shop had signs out back on the wall that said something about cigars for months. I've seen it there. I just didn't know that it wasn't open until now,
Well,
or that it
yeah, and
wasn't
I just got
registered
it
or
in the
whatever.
mail, but and it's called Jay's Smoke. So if you didn't know, it could be anything.
Yeah,
I
it's at the way at the back end of his liquor store, and I guess that's his brother.
No,
or
that's
something.
a different smoke shop, Charlie.
Yeah, so this is the one next to Carl's equipment, right? I assume that
There's
building where
been
there
one
was.
on the other side for a long time with signs out. I go up to Sturbridge fairly often. But
Yeah,
I didn't write the dates down when I saw them, but there's now one on each side of the street there. There
Yeah.
have been.
I didn't look it up. It's the business name is J. Sai Brahmani Corp, but trade name is Gary's Smoke. And the address is 742 Quinnebog Road. So I was assuming it was right next to the small equipment place.
Yes, it is in there. It is in
Oh, where
there.
the tattoo parlor was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in there recently, but I've seen them on both sides up just north of there.
Yeah. I get the paperwork and I pass it on. In other business news, you see Main Street Gelato is over at 372 Riverside Drive. That's the one that got flooded out of Putnam. Drafters closed February 9th. I also see that there's doors on the new car wash. So I imagine they're getting closer to filling that little block and having a storefront for rent when the liquor store moves over.
I heard
Um,
Main Street Gelato on the radio the other morning, and they said they're gonna do food here as well. Some sandwiches and soup, and then even barbecue down the road, they said.
Yeah, I was looking at their Facebook, I think it was, not a
Yeah.
website. It looks like they've been selling stuff. I don't know how, but it looks
So,
current.
it
What, Joe?
doesn't say where you can buy the macarons. They show great pictures. They look so tempting, but they
Yes.
don't tell you where you can go to get them.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. It sounds like it's current, but yet it doesn't seem like they're open yet.
Oh, no, they won't be
Really?
open for a while. They have so many, they have to, I'm sure they have to do a lot of work on the interior of the building, but they still promote their baking business, but it
Yes.
doesn't tell you where to go to pick up the cookies that they have and the gelato
Right.
that they have.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was saying. They're not open, but it seems like it's business as usual. So I don't know either. I was going to stop in when I saw somebody there just to say hi, welcome to the neighborhood and
Yeah,
maybe get
I
some
can't
more
wait.
information.
Should be a great spot for a business like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they
And
can't get the walking business that they got from Putnam, but it'll have to be a drive to for sure.
it's okay, Joe. I mean, you have to start somewhere. We have that part of Riverside Drive. You have Riverside Pizza and T-Rex, and if Jan ever sells that other building, we'll have something there. We have supposedly a used car dealer going in
Hmm.
next to Liberty. I mean, if we can fill in that stretch, they won't be alone. I know everything takes time.
And it's also close to Putnam. I mean, that's the Putnam side of Thompson. So
Yeah,
it's only a couple mile drive for folks in Putnam.
right. Anybody who liked them before should be able to come out there. So yeah, it's all good.
Yep.
Anybody else have any other business opening, closing information?
Mhm.
Okay, we got TBA membership is pretty much unchanged. New executive board held their first meeting last week. Even though it wasn't specified on the agenda, Tira and I are still updating or reporting on EDC and planning type issues that we always did. So that's good. We still have the tie-in. And yeah, Tira had gotten a lender expo opportunity, business lending expo opportunity coming in March. Tira, did you get to give the full information on that at the meeting?
No, that's not what they asked me to present on. That Lending Expo stuff is just stuff I forwarded straight out from Connecticut Small Business,
Okay.
the SBA. No, what they had asked me to speak on at the time was a grant opportunity through USDA Rural Business Development Grants. And the possibility of TBA, because they're a 501c3, submitting some kind of application. I didn't really expect that they would be able to, because it's not something that had originated with them, and the turnaround time was short. And they haven't followed up, so I'm going to assume that they have opted not to pursue it. But I had suggested that TBA could, for example, apply for funds to run a localized low interest loan program for small businesses, because small businesses can't apply to that directly to USDA, but 501c3 the 501c3 of the TBA could act in that regard. So almost like a mutual aid society for small business. That would have been an eligible activity, which I had sort of gently encouraged them to consider, especially since, with Megan as the treasurer there now, having that kind of experience directly with Bank Hometown, that they actually have the skill set that could pull that off. But by the time we talked about it last week, that's a 2-week turnaround time to submit an application, now down to a week and a half. I have to assume that they're not going to do that. But even if they chose to develop something in the short term, it's kind of good practice. And then they could be ready to do it the next time that program opens up.
You did mention that. Okay.
I wanted to say, Tira, that Jody's back. Like, I mean, she never really left, but you can definitely. I think before in the past, you've like emailed her with stuff that you wanted to put on the TBA website, correct?
Yes, I'm forwarding that stuff I get from Connecticut SBA or whatever, whatever groups I receive it from. I get a ton of those newsletter things, so I just kind of push them right out to Allie and Jody.
Okay.
I don't necessarily follow up after that, but I am sharing that information out to TBA so that it can get out to the membership if somebody has time to do it.
Right. Well, I mean, I just went on the website, and that thing about the lending fair is not on here. So that's kind of why I asked. I just wanted to make sure that that was still happening or whatever. So yeah. I mean, there is a way on here too. Did you know that you can go right on the website and just hit the button event submission and drop the PDF in there with a couple notes, and then Jody will get it like that as well?
I did not realize that, so I will keep that in mind. I get a ton of those things, so I don't necessarily send them all over. I don't always know which ones are redundant. But if one comes through at a good time and catches my eye, I definitely push it out to those two. But
Okay.
I'll keep that other option in mind as well.
Cool.
I have a question about, it sounds almost like the money comes down from the state, but they want non-government organizations to funnel it through, because there's no, NECOG doesn't have anybody.
No, so that grant, that specific grant that I was just talking about, Charlie, is through USDA, so actually through the Fed. So and USDA Rural Business Development Grant does not make grants directly to individual business owners. It has to flow through a municipality, a tribal organization, or a 501c3.
Okay. So it originally it's intended to go through a municipality, but we don't have a department for small business administration in Thompson, nor in NECOG, I guess. And if we're looking for somebody to fill out the application, that
No, it's
I
just
agree,
like
though. We want to keep this on track for the next time it comes around. We've seen that happen with our other. You certainly have, Tara, because you keep coming back, and sooner or later something breaks loose. I agree.
Okay, so that's it for TBA stuff. Under old business, all I have is an open slot for EDC alternate.
While you're on that real quick, I just happened, I wasn't looking, I just happened to notice today when I was on the town's website, EDC, Renee is still listed as an alternate.
Oh, I had reported that, I can't even tell you how long ago. Okay,
Well, did Renee formally submit a letter of resignation? Because if she didn't, then she still is an alternate.
I don't remember, Tara, it was so long ago. I mean, I thought it was all.
Isn't she the one that updates the town website?
Yeah, I was just wondering, when
She
we
is
have,
one of two. She is one of two who will do that, but it's not like she's actively looking for anything like that. If it's
Right,
a discrepancy, you've just got to let her know.
right.
And also Renee has now gone to part-time. She's
Right.
in Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I think are her days. So she is on her way to full retirement at the end of her term, which would be the November or the end of the calendar year, however that plays out. So Marie also does website updates, but that's certainly not her primary job. So if you see things like that, I would email both of them, town clerk and selectman's office at thompsonct.org and ask to make the adjustment. But in the case of Renee as alternate, if she hasn't submitted a letter of resignation, she's still the alternate until she does so.
All right, I'll look into that this week or next week. Making a note. Okay. All right, moving on. Up to progress reports with Tira and any grant applications or actions.
Well, I'm not pursuing any new applications right now. Well, I am not pursuing any new applications right now. Eastern Connecticut Conservation District did apply essentially on our behalf to CT Deep's 319 non-point source program, and that's a water quality stormwater treatment program for some work at the library and at town hall. Definitely the work at the library would dovetail into everything else that's going to be going on Main Street. That's one of the reasons we decided to pursue it with the district. The biggest grant is the SIF grant. I still do not have a project manager assigned from the state. I reached out at the beginning of the month to check in, and they said, don't worry, they're slammed. So that is gonna come to me when it comes to me. I will check in with them again next week before the MISRAC meeting, which we moved to the 21st because, oh no, I'm sorry, that's this week. I will check in with them tomorrow. I was a week off in my head. So I'll check in with them tomorrow to see what the status is on that. The Brownfield grant appears to be inching ever closer to being signed off on without getting into too much detail because, I don't want to tell tales out of school. The transfer of ownership is nearing its completion, and we're passing final drafts back and forth of the financial assistance proposal, and once those things are finalized, then we should have a grant contract, and then theoretically we should be able to get started on the hazmat abatement. It's my job to be optimistic, and I've always been optimistic about it. I'm slightly more optimistic about it actually getting completed this time than I have been in a while. Everything seems to be aligning. Trainwreck Park continues. They're still working. He hasn't told me that they've come up with anything that's going to shut them down yet. What else is out there for grants? I had a con call today on the 65 main planning grant, which is winding down. That's going to close at the end of March, with me submitting a final master plan and report. So the con call today was with our wetlands agent and the civil engineer and landscape architect, who are going to complete the final site plan for the permaculture park and you know, the related stuff there. And I finally heard from the UConn Transactional Law Clinic about their student body for this semester, helping me with the legal details of how to form the organization that will be based there. That's been one of two real hurdles for me, because that legal stuff is obviously not my bailiwick. And the UConn Transactional Law Clinic provides these services for free to, you know, it's a competitive process, and they did select our project. So I have a con call with them tomorrow to discuss what they need from me and how that process is going to unfold. I'm probably about a third to a little less than halfway through a first draft on the master plan. And I think that's it for grants.
Okay. Joe, you have a real estate listing update?
I sure do. Doesn't change very much from month to month, actually. Currently, there are 7 residential properties available, only one of which is a mobile home. The other are just 6 homes, randomly priced from 200 to 500. So six properties are available for residents, and there are 5 commercial listings. There 1 business for sale, 2 commercial properties for sale, and 2 commercial properties for lease. And the ones for lease is that we talked about this last month, the property on Thompson Road.
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah, it was Jane's. It was
Yep.
Jane's, right?
Yeah.
What's the one
Oh.
business for sale?
That G7.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You mentioned that
Yep.
last
So
month.
they have a business for sale, and then the property is for sale, so that counts as 2. And the other commercial property is, of course, the restaurant, Four Corner. What's it called
Yeah,
now?
the Pitts Crossroads.
Yeah. Yep. That. And that's it for commercial. But also there were 2 deposits during the month of February. The one under deposit, I'm sorry, 2 closed. They both sold, and that's the one we just talked about. Main Street Gelato bought that property on 372 Riverside Drive. That closed February 3rd, and the daycare closed on February 7th.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yep.
And one of those 6 houses, my son just bought one.
He just bought one of the active houses?
Yeah,
Which one?
Sunset Hill.
Oh, yeah, that just went under contract. Well, that's not one of the 6, because that's under
It's not?
contract.
Oh, okay. Well, it just happened like 3 days ago, but okay.
Well, I did my list 3 hours ago.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it.
I did see Sunset Hill. It was on very quick. I mean, it came on and it went under deposit very, very quickly. So, yeah, that's not one of my 6 houses available.
What's
Hey,
up with
Joanne.
What?
I said,
Joanne? Yeah, well, we're both talking now. Joanne, did you say
Go ahead.
Crossroads is for sale? I thought it was
Yeah.
the restaurant that just opened.
Yeah, right. We talked about this. Maybe you weren't here last month, Brian. Yeah, because we questioned it. It came on. Actually, it came on the market in November.
Yeah, I was going to say at least December, because we've been talking. It's been coming up.
Yeah. As soon as it opened, the property came on the market. And we were all
That's
kind of
odd.
flabbergasted as to why they're
Wasn't aware
selling
of
it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, but it's the building that's for sale, not the business.
not the business. Okay,
Correct.
right.
Correct. It's commercial property, but nonetheless, it's still, if the people who buy it have other plans, oh well, there goes the restaurant.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
What
Okay, and
happened
also apologize if I wasn't on mute when I switched to the phone, but I'm back on mute now. So, okay,
and
go ahead, Dan.
Dan, what were you saying?
What happened to Drafters? I know they closed, and I thought I heard that they had an offer. They were gonna sell it. Did that happen, or?
That I
I don't
don't
think-
know. That's still a current listing with Lyman, and I don't have privy to that information.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
with-
she just got sick of keeping the restaurant open because she was absentee running another business. So they closed after the Super Bowl game.
Yep. They went out with a bang.
That was their plan.
Mm.
Okay. Now we're up to our marketing plan stuff. Did everybody get a chance to look at the responses to the RFP?
Yeah.
I know it was a lot of reading. It took me days with my limited reading time.
Yeah. I breezed through them. I sped read.
We get it.
You see, as we discussed earlier today, may I recommend that you guys move to go to executive session because you're going to be discussing stuff that's competitive between bidders. But you need to make a motion to do that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We go to executive session.
Okay.
I'll second that.
If
You also
that
have to
Lynn-
vote.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, let's go executive.
Okay,
we
so
have to turn off the
Lynn,
recording?
you can stay in, but you won't be taking any minutes. It's 6:57 and I'm going to shut off the meeting recording.
Got it.
Okay, so 7:45, executive session has concluded. That's for your sake for the minutes, Lynn.
Got it.
Okay, what else do you have, Mr. Chairman?
The only thing I have on the agenda is I do like us to keep in contact with upcoming events. So we have the Netchog Epic coming March 23rd. We have Maker Faire May 3rd. Meetings are ongoing for that. We have, I think, almost 50 vendors signed up. So it's looking good for the Maker Faire. Concerts have been announced July 12th, July 26th, August 9th. And Amanda wanted me to mention the senior share. April, July, and September dates at Community Center. People can donate non-food items that some seniors may need, such as toiletries and shampoo, stuff like that that don't come from food distribution things. And there'll be more later. The Thompson Rec has a whole bunch of stuff, good bus trips planned and concert trips. And as time goes on, we'll bring up Community Day and stuff, but that's good for now. Unless somebody else has something that's Charlie, yeah.
Quick note on March 22nd, there's an additional event, part of the Natchog Epic. I don't have the route yet, but I understand it's going to go like 10 miles around a tri-state marker.
Mm.
And they're basically billing it as a kids ride. That route is an excellent resource for the town, and it ties in next to the train wreck park. Also, in this past month, the Wyndham Land Trust and Thompson Trails Committee went out for a walk along the new property that the Wyndham Land Trust bought from the Boy Scouts off of Quantic Farmtown Road. And they're a 5.5 mile, nice, easy walk up on wide roads. It's quite clean, as one would expect, because it was Boy Scout property and camping property. There is some cleanup that needs to be done. But Wyndham Land Trust wants to open that up for equestrian, for mountain bikes, and for hiking, and also to tie that into the greater network of trails around the tri-state marker, which is one of our assets that we've talked about since we started our own marketing plans. Slow progress, but it is progress. And that means that there'll be an extra day with people coming into Thompson for the event. It'll be the Saturday. And that's something that our pizza shops and others should know about.
Yeah, we always try to inform them, Charlie.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
know. And here I am volunteering somebody else to do the work.
Well, no, all we can do is communicate. So there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with asking to
So,
communicate.
so I'm excited because it is here. It dovetailed with our schedule and with our goals, and it plays itself quite nicely to attract more people into town. With the GPS that's being used out on that, what do they call it? Blackamore? It's not the same name as Randy, but it's like that. And that's the name of a brook that comes down from the state line. There's Wakefield Pond is on the state line. The Boy Scouts kept a small campground up there, sold some of it to DEM and the rest of it over to Wyndham Land Trust. So it'll stay green, outdoor recreation. All these things are clicking into place. Maybe I'll see some of it.
It'll be some good photo ops for our website with horseback riding and stuff
Oh,
that not every town can have.
There's a group that has been active with Thompson Trails Committee, and they have a bridge, which they know about. It's prefabbed, and it comes in and just sits across the area. They are volunteering to put one on, replace an old bridge on a property called LeClaire property, also in that area, and also now connected to the Boy Scout property and the state land at Aquatic State Park. And I don't think it goes quite as far as the town land up by the tri-state marker, but it's a big open space, green space area that'll be there for a while.
Okay. Yeah, we have no citizens' comments. I have one for commission members. If, as Tira mentioned, the budget presentation is tomorrow, and the time is different than what I thought. I usually present with her, and I can't do it. If one of the commission members would like to dial in,
What time?
6:30.
Is it dial in only?
No, it's in person and on Zoom, but I'm gonna be zooming in. I'm not gonna go back to town hall just for the hour to stand, or for the 15 minutes to stand up there and present a cut and dry budget.
I have it on my calendar. I was planning on checking it out either way. I wasn't sure if I was going down there or just zooming, but either way, I was planning on checking it out. So
And that would be good, because until yesterday, I thought it was at 6 o'clock, and it would be tight for me. But the 6:30, I'm usually in Sutton by 6:30, and this week is something I can't get out of.
Yeah, so
So-
Dan, if you want to sort of pinch hit for Yacino, it's really just backup. I mean, I do most of that presenting, but
Yeah.
it's good to have the voice of the commission in there.
Cool.
I'm going to
Thanks,
try to
Dan.
make it also. I put it on my calendar. Everything works I'll be there too,
Okay.
at the hall, at the town hall.
Appreciate it, guys. Any more comments from commission members before we, or specific items you want on the next agenda?
Good.
Well,
All right, well-
presumably you'll have a consultant coming in, so once we make that award, Lynn, you should probably just add somewhere on the agenda a line item for the marketing consultant.
Yeah, and we'll adjust. If we do have somebody coming in, we'll move that agenda around.
Okay.
Like we did last time, so I don't have to wait till the end.
Sure, makes sense.
I just wrote a note to make sure it's on the agenda, so.
Okay.
You're a champ.
Okay, well, I mean, if we're okay, I'm okay with adjourning at 7:53.
Okay,
All right.
see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
See you
Have a great
guys.
Good night.
Bye.